All right, everyone, welcome to the code book and one pagers. And for those that were at the team rally this week, you saw me kind of get up on a soapbox a little bit and talk a little bit around, command and the importance of it. And obviously this class, this is a little bit of what we talk about, and we talk about the one pagers to kind of support those things. And with that being said, what we have going on the screen right now is command, right? And we all, as agents inside of the Keller Williams ecosystem, we all have access to this CRM. And I think a CRM is very important. I did see a study though, that like 3% of real estate agents actually use a CRM. And what's interesting though is that when we looked at the numbers the other day, we saw that the top earners in the company actually have names in their database and they're actually using their database. So it's not the agents that have a bunch of free time that are using the CRM. It's not the agents that are, wasting brain power and wasting time that are having a CRM. It's actually the people that are making money. But what's interesting, right, is when we look at this is the reports, right? And so if I were to click on this red square right here, these are all the different applets that we have inside of our KW command. And I am looking in the reports applet. And if we were to look at this and just the dashboard, that's all I'm going to look at is the dashboard right now. And it says that I have, 3,800 total people in my database, 3838 somehow. And it says total amount of contacts is 3814, which means I have leads. And you can see the leads, those 24 leads that are on the right-hand side. But if we go through and we click on these different buttons right here, total records, contacts, leads, let's just go to contacts. We see this, right? The importance of the database. We see my phone numbers. 97% of all the contacts in my database have a phone number. 100% of all the contacts in my database have an email. 39% have an address. Out of that, somehow 67% have a neighborhood, which I don't truly get how that is unless I put something in wrong. Home anniversaries, 0%, and birthdays, 0%. And so we talked about this thing called gamification at the team meeting the other day. And through that gamification, this is where we're going to look at different things. And you can actually look in your database and say, where's my biggest opportunity? And I would say for the most part, all of us have a huge opportunity around addresses. Like addresses is probably going to be the biggest opportunity that most all of us have. We should have people's names. We should have their phone numbers. We should have their emails. But we have a huge opportunity around their home addresses. And so as we're in the season of renewal, and we'll talk about that here momentarily, but really want to start around this 60 touch program, right? The 60 touch program that wins. And as we're thinking about the 60 touch program, it all starts inside of command. And through command, what we do is we go in and we set up the database. We set up the database and we need to systematically and strategically communicate out to them, because it doesn't matter. And I'm going to show you guys this one pager, and this is the one pager that we're going to review today. But it does not matter all these great tactics that we have if we're not starting with the foundation. And the foundation for this model is our CRM. And if you're like, Charles, I like Gmail and that's where I like to live. Cool, rock and roll, live in Gmail. I think it's going to be way harder to do because you have to set different parameters up. If you're like, Charles, my CRM is my cell phone, this is the thing I live on. Well, rock and roll, I guess you could do that as well. But I would encourage everyone to build your CRM inside of your database and to be able to systematically and strategically communicate out to people. And through that communication, you're going to take massive mind share, which leads to market share, because we do not know when someone's looking to transact business. All we know is that if we systematically and strategically communicate and we have enough touches over time, that we will be in closest proximity to them when they're looking to transact business. And people buy houses 4 to 7 times in their lifetime. And we just don't know what life event is encouraging someone to buy. So our job is to stay in touch with them. So let's reverse engineer this, all right? Let's look at this a little bit. So I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to put this in the chat so you guys have a copy of it. Give me 1 second. This first thing is somewhere. Well, I said I was going to share it with you, but it's not actually pulling up. Give me 1 second. Let me find this thing. Recent downloads. Well, let me share this one with you because I already have it. So let me put that one in. There's the 60 touch. Well, let's just go in here. Let me guys show you this real quick. So if you go into connect, and so this will be a little side conversation, right? We go into command and we go into connect, and then we have the ability to go through and search. And what I'm searching right now is the 60 touch program that wins. And guys, all these actually live right here, but I'm going to send it to you. So here this is. I'm going to go ahead and download it. Save it. There it goes. Coming in hot. So it should be coming in the chat to you guys momentarily. Looks like it just sent. Awesome. Now let's switch gears. Let's go into that 60 touch program. All right. So here we are. Here's the 60 touch program, right? And this is from an agent that's in Springfield, Missouri. And if we were to look at this thing, as we're going through, this guy is a consultant, right? A consultant who helped kind of put this thing together and truly went through and looked at Carrie's database. So this LP Mama, right? They're going through. Oh, just kidding, guys. It is a complete yard sale over here today. That is the wrong. There it is. All right, perfect. Now we're doing something a little bit different now. All right. So Dave Hooks went through, and Dave Hooks has created this thing, and he's out of Pennsylvania. And so Dave Hooks has done research, and the research has shown that it takes about 70 touches, right? And we know that in the old MREA said would need to be at least 36 touches, and through 36 touches, we've seen some agents go all the way up to 72 touches. And now we're seeing agents that are saying, hey, it's more around 60. And this is the thing. 36 is a great baseline. And so if you're only on a 0 touch plan, let's see how we can implement it up. And let's see if we can get to a 36. That'd be 3 touches over the course of 1 year. And if we're going through and we're implementing 72, right? It's just more touches is a little bit less than 6, right? So 6, that's 72 touches. And so we're going through and we just need to figure out how many touches that we're going to get so that we can systematically and strategically communicate out to our database. And from there, we'll take massive mind share. So this is what it says. It says, why does this 60 touch system work? Well, it allows you to capitalize on pre-built trust. Also with that, it goes with the frequency of the impressions takes mind share. And we know this, guys, right? We know that we have to take massive mind share. So people see us as the real estate economist of choice. From there, we take market share, right? We don't know when someone is looking to transact business. So it is our job to stay in front of them, to stay in emotional proximity to them for when they're ready to transact business. It says 1 in 10 people in your database convert to a closing over time. And this is the thing. This is why the database is important, guys. I want you to look at the database that you're using, your CRM, and I want you to compare it against your phone, right? And this is a fun exercise. So go into your contacts. So if you're an Apple user, you're going to go into your contacts, your applet, and you're going to go hit the # at the very bottom. And for my millennials on the phone, it's the hashtag. Click on the hashtag sign. And for Android users, if you open up your contacts, I think it's the very first number. Like you don't have to scroll down. And look at how many contacts that you have. Mine says I have 1,744 contacts. So I have 1,700 contacts in my database. And through research shows that 1 in 10 people in your database convert over time. And I would say this is probably closer to maybe, 7 to 10% per year is how we should be able to look at this thing. So look at your database, guys. And if you're looking at this thing and you have 1,000 people, you have 500 people, you have, 300 people, what does that tell you? What is the deal flow that you did this year, right? So if you have 500 people, did you do 5 deals? If you have 300 people, did you do 3 deals? And I would say this likelihood of that is probably slim to nil unless they're in your database, in your CRM, and you're systematically and strategically communicating out to them, right? We're taking massive mind shares in different places of the journey so that when they do think of real estate, they're thinking about us. It's a systemized machine, right? This is the power of this. If I just keep everyone in my phone, and guys, we all have talent. Every one of you on this phone has talent, but your talent is capped, right? There is a ceiling to your talent. And we see this all the time where the neighbor lists the house or the family member goes and buys a house without us and or whatever, because we just think that since we said at one time they knew that we were a real estate agent, that they're going to use us, but that's not necessarily the case. So we need to be able to go through and what are we doing to make sure that we are staying in front of them at all times. And this is where the database helps us, because what the system is going to do is it's going to send out emails for us. It's going to hit us with reminders. It's going to allow us to put notes in, because this is the thing. We have a conversation with someone, we hang up the phone and we don't take a note in our system. How do we remember what the conversation looked like? And if we're having a lot of phone calls, right? There's some of you on this phone or on this conversation right now that do a lot of phone calls. How do you remember all the conversations that you had if you're not taking notes? And where are you putting the notes? Don't be the agent that is just writing it down somewhere and throws a sticky note, right? Where you're going through and you're like, oh, this person wants me to call them in 3 months, put it in a sticky note, put it in my book, and I forget my book, or the sticky note falls in between the car or something happens, and then I forget. And then 4 months later goes down the road and they got a sign in the yard. I'm like, why didn't you think of me? And they said, well, I told you to call me and you never called me. So I don't think that you wanted the business. Guys, I'm gonna be talking big around about the CRM and these 60 touches, right? Because I know that there's value in it, and I know that there is so much potential in here, and we are missing opportunities, and you guys are not being able to live the lives that you know that you deserve, and bring in the money that you know that you're capable of making. And money's good for the good that money can do. And so I want you guys to make as much money as possible. And I promise you, if we start with the foundation of putting in the CRM and figuring out how we can systematically and strategically communicate out to our database, you will have astronomical businesses. And it says it gives a 30-to-1 ROI. So it says the secret sauce is frequency of impressions. That's why we like the CRM, and we'll break down what these touches look like, guys. But the CRM has the capability to send out emails for you. Like, it just sends the email out, whatever that email looks like. It also has the ability to set up reminders for you to reach out to your database. And for a lot of us in here, we use DTD2, right? So doing the database too. And we know that if we reach out to our database through 4 phone calls per year, and on a system where we're utilizing 2 letters of the alphabet per week, there's 13 weeks in a quarter, and we should be able to get through our entire database 4 times, 4 phone calls over the course of 1 year. And that is the minimum, right? That is the absolute minimum of what we should be doing as far as voice-to-voice phone calls. And it goes through and it says, one of the things that they did is they formed a nonprofit using a 16-word question when calling their database. Who do you know in the community with an urgent need that we can serve financially? And guys, I don't even know if that's the necessary. Like, if that speaks to you, run with it, right? They're saying they're seeing huge success with this. They're saying that's what they're doing. And they're going through and they're taking hearts and minds from everybody. And they're going through and they're fulfilling those needs. But maybe you go through, and especially this time of year, and we know how else can we pour into people? Well, why don't we start reaching out and let's start building a vendor database? What does it look like to build a vendor database where you have your plumbers, your electricians, your HVAC people, your handymen, your CPA, your lawyers, your insert whatever here. And as you're making these phone calls, you're saying, hey, this is Charles over at KW. And, I just wanted to reach out to you today because I'm building my 2024 approved vendor list. And I wanted to reach out to you to see if you knew anybody that I should know that would help impact some lives, right? And they're going to say, oh, well, I can't think of anyone, right? That's okay. All we're doing is looking for a reason to call, guys. And this is a very easy reason to call. People have vendors and they have people that are business owners. And they know that if they plug them, they are helping their people out. And so they're going to be mostly plugging people. And if they don't have anyone, that's okay, because all we're doing is getting closer to emotional proximity to these people through systematic and strategic communication. It says, this is the best performing conversation that Dave uses with his database. It creates a partnership with the database, the team, the nonprofit, and the community, which leads to helping people and getting referrals. And again, guys, that's why I think you can change it over to the vendor database. In the vendor database, you can build this thing through it, because again, people want to help people. People want to know people and help their friends' businesses, right? They're going to go through, they're going to think of people. Hey, you should know this person. Hey, you should know this person. Or, oh, I don't know if this counts, but I know the person that owns this restaurant, or I know the person that owns this car dealership, or whatever. Awesome. Let's put it in there. Let's have this. These are my preferred business partners. And then, guys, what does it look like for you to make that phone call next? And you're like, hey, Liz, this is Charles over at KW. I was just talking to Lee, and Lee said, hey, that I needed to reach out to you and build a relationship with you because you own XYZ company and I'm a real estate agent and I have a vast network. And I don't know if you'd be interested, but I would love to promote your business. Cool. Liz is going to be like, rock and roll. Let's do this thing. Like, she's not going to be like, no, you know what? I got all the business in the world and I hate real estate agents. Even if she hates real estate agents, she's going to take the business. Right? So we need to form these relationships. And how do these relationships compound? So we can take massive, massive mind share, bring more people, right? Gary Keller tells us this. Whatever our Met database is, that's awesome. But we need to continuously be building our not Met database and pulling them into our Mets. So how do we bring more people inside of our four walls into our ecosystem? And this is one of the easiest ways to do this, guys. I can tell you, when I joined KW, Dale probably remembers this. We used to have an exercise where we have to go through a phone book. We had a phone book exercise where we would just be picking up the phone book and calling people. Super painful. Dale, I saw you take yourself off mute.
Yeah. So, I mean, not only that, my first year in the industry was 2008 when the market crashed.
Yeah.
I came out of school August of 2008 and got licensed. And that in 2009, I went to Bold.
Yep.
I live in the northern part of town. I drove to Aurora once a week to Bold, and they taught us to call on for sale by owners, expireds, all that stuff. So I literally that's how I built my business, is by doing that. And now we get a lot of referral business. But I mean, cold calling is no fun. As a matter of fact, the way the market's changed, here we go. We're going back on the phone and start making calls. That's the only way you're going to gain any ground. So, but
absolutely.
Yeah, it's painful having to go through the phone book, or search down expireds, or search down for sale by owners, all that, and everybody knows everything, so it is painful.
Absolutely. And you just heard it, right? Dale has a big business, everyone. Like, Dale has done some great things this year. And we all know that, yes, you can build a business off of cold calling and the phone book and all these things, but why not do it from here to start, right? Like, there is so many people that you have not met through connections, right? That's 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon for those that were, a little bit older again. And so some of the population I'm probably losing. They're like, firstly, who's Kevin Bacon and what is the 7 degrees? But I can tell you this, I think that they said that there's been a new study with Facebook, and actually Facebook, there's four degrees of separation from everyone at this point. Like, everybody knows everyone, and you could pretty much find a connection within 4 connections of the people in your Facebook with anybody in the population, which is kind of neat to think about. So this is where we would start, guys. Think about what the script looks like. We're going into this second part of the season of renewal, right? The first person is just to find out where the deficiencies are, right? Where the deficiencies in your database. And for those that have been playing along, you should know. And for the most part, I can tell you guys, without even looking at your databases, your deficiencies are probably the addresses, In the grand scheme of things, like most of you probably have a big opportunity with your addresses. I know people's phone numbers. You probably know what their email address is, but you don't have their home address in because you haven't done business with them and you don't feel like you deserve the right to ask them. So we figured out what the deficiency is. It's the address, but let's make sure, let's do some phone calls. And so what does it look like? We're going through, we're picking up the phone. And depending on how you want to do this, and you're just like, again, hey, Liz, this is Charles, and I just wanted to reach out. And, I know that you know a lot of people and I value our relationship. And so I just wanted to give you a call and see if you knew anybody that I should be putting on my approved vendor list, because I'm going through it right now and I want to make sure that I have the 2024 updated version ready to rock and roll. And it doesn't matter what Liz's answer is, right? Like she either does or she doesn't. And cool, awesome. Well, hey, Liz, this is the thing. I got a lot of great things on here from, people to blow out your sprinklers. I got handymen, I got electricians, I have plumbers, I got a CPA, I got all these great things. Would you be interested if I sent you a copy of this? And Liz is like, yeah, cool, man. Send me a copy. Awesome. What's your address? And I'll send you that in the mail when it's completed. Guys, like whatever you want to do, like we went through on the team meeting the other day where we were talking about if you wanted to send holiday cards or the addresses. We're going through and it's like, hey, one of the things that I want to do is spread some holiday cheer, and the season's in the air this year. And so I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in being a part of my holiday card list this year. Oh yeah, that'd be awesome. Great. What's your address? Right? We're just going through and gamify this thing, guys, and think about how many people that you want, whatever it is. But we do know it's a 10-to-1 return. So whatever that 10% is, how many people do we need to have in our database to convert them? And be thinking about this, just going through whatever it is. You guys put down your goals. We're going into November here in a couple days. November in a couple days. Today is the 27th. Halloween is next week, and we're going to be in November. Holidays are everywhere. You have put together on your game plans. You know what you want your world to look like in 2024, whatever that is, families, help, or dollars. This is the foundation that we can build on this thing. So then it goes through and it says this: things to consider while creating your touches. Frame your content by answering questions. Write down the 20 questions you get asked the most by buyers and sellers. Perfect. You guys are like, well, Charles, this is the thing. This phone has weighed 500 pounds since I've gotten my license, and I don't make phone calls to buyers and sellers, so I don't know what the 20 questions are. Well, guys, we talked about this. ChatGPT. Go through ChatGPT. Top 20 questions that buyers are looking to be answered in Colorado. Right? Like put it in there, guys. And the more specific, the more stuff it's going to answer, and go through and have it. The top 20 questions sellers are asking about real estate in Colorado. The top 20 questions that real estate investors are asking in Colorado, right? Like we're going through and we're getting those questions down, and we're figuring out how we want to answer it, because this is the thing. We have to be educational and we have to be entertaining. Right? Educational, entertaining, because we have to be able to take mind share, and we need to be able to captivate the audience so that they're engaged and that they want to participate, and they look at us as the real estate economist of choice. So it says, make these the basis for your communication, right? And again, we just talked about the one, like everyone's needing some kind of vendor. And what does it look like for you to be that conduit for those vendor partners? I can't tell you guys, well, how many times I've reached out to Liz being like, Liz, what is your husband's contact information? Because he's a handyman. And every time someone asks me for a handyman, I can't ever find the card. I did find the cards though. I have them everywhere. I actually have a stack behind my desk, and I think there's another stack now on the podium, or not on the podium, but on the little ledge out there now. So I got cards ever. I know where they are now. But people are always looking for people. And once they see you guys as the real estate economist of choice, you're their conduit, they're going to call you and they're going to say, hey, I know you're in real estate. Do you have this person? Yes, I do. And what does that do? It gets us in closer emotional proximity to the person that we helped with that needs the referral, and plus the referring person, right? Like both of those people, like the person that we actually gave business to and the person that actually needed the business, both of those were bringing closer to us. Guys, this is a win-win-win for everybody. And then next time they need someone, they're reaching out to you. They're like, hey, I super appreciate that handyman that you gave me. Or what does it look like to say this? Hey, here's the handyman that I got. They're super awesome, but I would love to get any feedback. Give me a call, shoot me a text, and let me know what you thought about this person. Right. And then you're establishing more communication. Or, hey, would it be okay if I reached out to you and just see how they did on that job for you? See if you even just went and worked with them and just being able to go through. And then you're figuring out more ways to communicate. Then this 500-pound phone that weighs so much, and this is why we don't talk about it, because, oh my God, ones that they answer. And oh my God, if they answer, what are we going to talk about? Well, guys, that's the things that we can talk about. Firstly, let's get our vendor list getting built. Secondly, after we refer out some business, let's set up a follow-up call to see how the vendor partner did for us. Because this is the thing at the same time, guys, if that vendor partner sucks, we probably want to cut them, right? Like that's the thing. And I can tell you guys this is where I think that real estate school and any of you city workers, and I used to be a city worker, so I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to talk trash about city workers and millennials because I was both. Well, I'm still a millennial. But if we like go through and we think about this, it's like that city job where people say 3 quotes. I need 3 quotes, right? Where you're going through and it's like, I need all of these different people and give me the dollars and these different things. A lot of you guys are going out there right now and someone's like, hey, do you have a lender? And you're like, oh yeah, here's my 3 lenders. How come you're not comfortable giving one lender's name? And all of you were like, well, because I don't know if that lender sucks or not, and I don't want to get sued for it. Well, this is the thing, guys. If you're giving out the name, how come you don't know if they're awesome or not? How come you're not getting validation? I think only giving out and in a lot of these cases, I think only giving out one or giving out multiple names is almost lazy as a CYA. And I think it makes us look like a less of a professional as we're kind of going through and doing these kind of things, unless we have truly worked with these people. Like I can tell you that like if I'm going through and I do give out 2 inspectors and I say this, I said, this inspector is going to give you a book and it's going to be like this big of everything that they found and all the information. And if you're like my wife, you're going to keep that book. Or I have this inspector who they're going to send you a digital copy of everything. They're going to highlight the issues that are the biggest problematic for you. And they're going to be less expensive. Which one would you like? Right? And you highlight and you know a little bit about it. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting numerous names, but know why you're doing it. Don't use it as a CYA because we're lazy and we don't know what the offerings of the people are. Know your vendor partners, know what they offer, and be willing to stand by them and go to battle with them, right? Because that's the thing. Like if we're like, oh, I give out all this business, like I give out these 3 names to all these different people, but yet they never give me any business, it's because you're making them compete. Maybe they are giving out your name. Maybe they give out your name with 3 other real estate agents, but the other real estate agent that they talked to first signed the deal. So they never made it to you. So be thinking about this, guys. I don't think we need to go 3 names, but if you're going to give out numerous vendor partners, make sure that you understand the services they offer so you can explain it to your clients and going through, and this will help you solidify relationships with all parties. Make it personal and keep it local, right? Guys, that's what I'm saying. Like, I do believe in national data because I think it tells a story, right? Anytime anything happens in California and Florida, it typically follows into Colorado, right? And we always see that too, right? We're also very aware of all the Texas and California license plates that are merging into Colorado. But for the most part, let's keep everything that we're doing in Colorado. And if you want to niche down in an area, niche down in the area, right? Is it, northern Colorado? Is it the Denver metro, right? Like just be thinking about what you want to do and keep the content flowing around there. Especially that's where you're doing open houses, right? Like if you're going through and most of your open houses are in like Arvada and stuff, like what does it look like to keep more content over there? And again, guys, you're meeting people at these open houses. And we know that it takes about 13 touches, not the 60 touch program, but 13 touches to take a lead and to turn them into business, right? And guys, all these people that go into open houses, they're leads. They are people that are interested in buying. Most part, we're not seeing tire kickers walking into open houses right now. People that are walking into open houses are serious buyers, even if they're giving you the cold shoulder, because this is the thing. We don't rank any higher than a used car salesman to most people. And what happens is we reach out once. They say, oh, I don't have any other questions. And you're like, oh, awesome. Okay. And then we go and we put these thoughts in our head and we're like, open houses suck. They don't work. I'm wasting my time and all this stuff. And it's because we gave up, right? You guys have all been on social media, every last one of you, and you guys have seen those memes or those illustrations of like the two different people that are in under the ground and they're digging for diamonds. And then the one guy that's like 2 hits away, like walks away right before he's about to strike it big. Guys, that's every last one of you right now that's talking to yourself. It's like, man, this lead gen game is hard. It is hard. But that's why we put systems in place. So what does it look like to keep stuff hyper local? You have this touch program. You create your open house email that you're going to send out to your whole database. And it's your whole database. Guys, I don't care if your sphere of influence isn't in the market. But if you have all these people in these open houses that you're doing in Arvada, what does it look like to send the people that viewed the open house with you 4 weeks ago the open house that you're doing this weekend? All you're doing is solidifying that you're a real estate agent. They think that you're busy and that you're doing different things. Who cares if the house doesn't match their criteria? They're seeing you as a real estate agent. Guys, this is where this stuff's important, because when you start putting these systems in place, there's buttons to hit that make things easier, and it's way easier than making tons and tons of phone calls off of this, because guess what? I know most of you aren't doing it. Most people don't do it. And that's not that I'm aiming. I'm not like, oh my God, this list on here, none of you are callers. Because at the end of the day, I know Dale's absolutely a caller. But this is just a broad statement, right? Like using the CRM makes your life easier. And yes, we have to time block to set some different things up. And it might take us, 30 minutes to an hour to create the open house newsletter that we want to send out. But then I hit one button and it sends it to 500 people. That's 500 conversations, 500 pieces of mind share that I just sent out, even if they weren't ready to transact business, even if this home didn't meet their criteria, they're seeing me as the real estate agent. They're a real estate economist of choice. And the more we do this, that means we have more at-bats, more opportunities for when they are looking to transact business, so we're going to be right there. And they're going to be like, oh my God, Liz, I super appreciate you reaching out today. I don't know how you knew, but I was actually thinking about buying a house. Well, I didn't know. I've been sending you 60 pieces of communication through the year. I'm just thankful this one landed and you're about to ready to buy, right? That's all we're doing, everyone. And then it says, put direct calls to action and MOFRs, right? And anyone that doesn't know what a MOFR is, it's a make offer for immediate response, right? Like, what is the offer that's going to get people to go? And it's not like, who do you know that's looking to buy? Who do you know that's looking to sell? Right? Maybe you're doing the MOFR that a lot of people were doing come tax time, where it's like, hey, if you're looking for a CMA so you can have some more ammunition when you are fighting your tax assessment, let me know and I'll create that for you. That was a MOFR. That was an offer. And the people that wanted it, they raised their hand, right? That was a make offer for immediate response. The people that are looking for the vendor list, you guys could go even at a smaller scale. It doesn't need to be that big. I mean, what does it look like? Or take it to the big level to where we're going through and we're getting all these vendor partners. And then you get that person that's that person that's going to blow out the sprinklers and say, hey, sprinkler guy, I have a pretty vast network that I fire this over to because I'm a real estate agent and I talk to hundreds of people a week because, I systematically and strategically do it through my database and I send out emails and I do all this stuff. They don't need to know that. And you're like, well, how about this? Like, what would it look like for you to maybe give me, some 10% off coupons? And I'll send it out to every one of my database. Would you see that to be beneficial? Right. And so get the sprinkler guy to give you some coupons, right? That could be anyone. Maybe it's a handyman that you have a relationship. Maybe it's the HVAC guy that's doing some tune-ups. And it's like, well, could you $5, $10? Like, I'll even create it if you honor it. Right. And so you put together your newsletter and your weekly offering this week is hey, 10% off the sprinkler blowout, or whatever, just present the coupon, or just mention that I'm your real estate agent to so-and-so when they show up. Guys, the contractor is going to be pumped for the extra business. And the person that you gave the $5 coupon that cost you nothing except for time to create is going to think that you're a hero. And then you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, hey, I got this other issue. Do you know someone? And you're like, I absolutely do. And they're going to say, awesome. By any chance you have a coupon for them? Right? Like, guys, that's what this is looking about. And anytime someone thinks of something home related, or even just something in the area, they're thinking about you. And that is all we are trying to do here. Take massive, massive mind share. So guys, then it says, let's break it down. So this is actually what the touches look like. They say 36 emails, right? Go through 12 hot listings. I don't know if it needs to be 12 hot listings, but what does it look like for open houses that you're doing, right? For those that aren't listing heavy, what does it look like to send out open houses that you are doing in the area? Then it goes through and it says 12 video emails. Cool, guys, this is the thing. You're all real estate agents. And I would be willing to venture most all of you, except for maybe Dale, has probably put on your GPS that you're going to use social media at a high level to build your business. Okay, cool.
We've also done that. So
you
I'm
said
terrible at it. Thank God for my wife, because she likes
yeah.
it, so we're doing it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And honestly, it works. My wife started using BombBomb to do stuff like we're getting ready to do an event, a client appreciation event, and do a pie event. And we were struggling with which format to use, so we ended up using BombBomb. And we sent the video out yesterday, maybe like 5 o'clock. By 7 o'clock, we had a 60% open ratio on that video.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's huge.
That's big. And so anyone that doesn't know what BombBomb is, it's a video format, email or text message. It's a software, and it actually lets you know how many people opened it. If you send it one-to-one through their system, it lets you know who opened it. It lets you know how long they played it for. They let you know what they click on. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's at about $500 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have to use it. Don't just get this thing for fun. And I have it. I love it. I do things with it. But what does it look like this, guys? So for those that are like, Charles, I'm not spending $500 a year. Totally get it. What does it look like, though, to go through and you're doing home tours, right? Because we're all real estate agents in here. We all should be educating ourselves on the market. What does it look like for us to go through and to go tour houses, maybe new builds in the area? New build community just pops up. I'm going to make it my job to go check it out for my clients. I don't know who my clients are. I'm going to go check it out for them, though. And I'm going to go look through the open house. I'm going to get out my phone and I'm going to do a tour. Right? And those that want to spend a couple extra dollars, go get a gimbal, right? Go get a gimbal. It stabilizes. It makes it a little bit more professional. You get to walk through, and guys, you do the angle, right? I walk to the door and I go walk to an angle. I go and I find another angle. And that's all you're doing is you're hitting angles. It stabilizes. It looks pretty professional. You're going through. You might hit yourself for a quick view, or you're just hitting the view of the house, and you're just walking through the house. Hey, just wanted to show you what this new build looks like in Westminster. These are the cross streets of the community. The starting price is $600,000 for X amount of square feet, X amount of bedrooms. And I wanted to give you a sneak peek of what this looks like. You create that. Firstly, put it on your social media, put it on your Instagram, put it on your Facebook, put it everywhere. Then take that content and put it in a newsletter, right? 12 video emails. What does it look like to send it out to everyone? Hey, just wanted to let you know what this new development looks like in the area. Here's a sneak peek of it. You put it out there, you send it. The call to action looks like, and if you have any more questions, give me a call, send me an email, send me a text, whatever. Any of your buying and selling needs, I'm your agent, right? Like that's what we're going through. And then just 12 text emails, right? Where you're just going through. And it's just what's going on in the market, right? We take a stagnant photo, right? We get stuff from RE Colorado. We get stuff from DMAR. We get stuff from Andrea Land Title. We get information. What does it look like? Take that information, compile it, and give your thoughts on it. And guys, this is the thing. I know you're like, well, Charles, this is kind of hard. Well, this is the thing. Most of those have a brief synopsis of what's going on. Days on market, weeks of inventory, price, all that stuff. Well, again, guys, you can put this stuff through ChatGPT. You can say, I'm a real estate agent in Arvada, Colorado. Take this data and put a spin on it on why it matters to a buyer in a positive outlook, and it will create the content for you. You don't even need to come up with the content, guys. You can take the information that it gives you, put it in ChatGPT, tell ChatGPT the tone of voice that you want to have. If you want it to be optimistic, aim towards buyers, tell buyers why this is a great time to buy. It will write the content for you. Guys, technology, this is why we need to embrace this kind of stuff, because we know 60 touches, 36 of them get to be email. That's the simplest thing that we could possibly be doing is emails, sitting down for an hour a week. Because guess what, guys? If you were to do a weekly email, that's 52 touches. You could touch your database 52 times per year, and it could be high value stuff, right? Once a month, you're updating them on what's happening in the market. The open house that you're hosting, you're going through and you're doing the video tour of the brand new community, right? Even if you just did 3 weeks worth of content, guys, that's 36 touches. Even if you just did that 3 weeks every month, that would be 36 touches. And those are high value touches to where people are interested. They're going to go through and layer some of that stuff on your social media. Because guess what? Not everyone's going to open your email. That's true. Not everyone's going to open your email. But they're going to see it on your Facebook. They're going to see it on your Instagram. And you already created the content, so might as well sprinkle it around everywhere, right? Don't get burned out by this. So 4 items of value, right? That's the next one. What's going on with the market, right? You can go through and you can put together just a quick whatever. And again, ChatGPT, you take all this information, you compile it, and you throw it out there. If you're going through and you want to spend some dollars, right? What does a notepad look like with the magnet? Like you can go through, create that thing. The referral directory, we've been talking about that. That's how I opened this thing up. I've been harping on it. What's your referral directory? Your vendor partners, your approved vendor partners for 2024. And what does it look like for the calendar with the magnet, right? If you're going through and you want to hand off physical items of value to send out, I can tell you this, like, while we don't see it in the office as much as we used to, the Carol Kessler team does these envelope packing parties together where they go through, they do send out the calendar, they go through, they send out the writing, the pad of paper and the pen, and they send all that stuff out to their geographical farm guys. Like they own it. And I'm not telling any of you to go out and spend that money. And if all of these, what I would actually look to do, this is probably the one I would skip. If you're like, Charles, I want to manage my budget for 2024. Let's lead with revenue. 100%. I'm with you. Like, let's go make some money and then let's allocate a certain amount of those funds to go towards this. I'm for it. There's nothing that says that you guys have to actually go out and spend dollars and put in energy like this. Then direct pieces of mail, 6 postcards, 6 newsletters. Again, guys, your newsletter is the stuff from your social media. Let's take some QR barcodes, right? We QR barcode it and we link it back to our Instagram account. Hey, if you want to know what I thought about the market, check out this video, scan here, they scan here, it links to your Instagram account. And now you're taking your people that you met at open houses, that your sphere of influence, your geographical farm, whatever, and now they're seeing you on your social media as well. Right? You're going through, you're taking your social media post, you're putting it on there, you're taking the stuff from your newsletter, you're re-cleaning it up, you're putting it on there on the ones that you're mailing out through email. And you're cleaning up these different things. The postcards, you can get these guys, you can get these from Land Title if you want to do it. You can get them from pretty much anywhere that's doing print products. They have this kind of stuff for you. Also, what I would say around this, it doesn't necessarily even need to be the postcards and the newsletters. It could be the invites to your events. We're about to talk about the events next, but the events is big, everyone. And when you're going through and you're thinking about events, you have to communicate. That's also a phone call. It's probably a text message. It's probably another email where they're getting the Eventbrite. It's probably the save the date postcard. Like there's so many different ways. And as you're thinking about these 60 touches, it doesn't pull this out, but all of these can be layered onto each other as well, to where this is just the basic 60, but in all reality, you're hitting people 80 times per year at a very, very high level. So you're going through, we get to the client appreciation events. This is what's the giveaway, right? Guys, what does it look like to do a Facebook giveaway? And this is the thing, let's save some dollars. You know what? What does it look like to go out and get something cool? And this is the thing, you don't need to get anything cool. $20, 20 bucks, someone's going to give you their information for 20 bucks. Everyone loves winning stuff and they're willing to give out anything for $20. They will. So you could do a gift card, you could do whatever, and people are going to do it. But if you're like, well, I want to go big, like I want to do a Traeger or something, or a Yeti cooler or whatever, what does it look like to get 3-4 agents for you guys all to go in and buy it? And then what you do is you all promote it on your social media channels. And then what you do is you put all the names into the raffle, and whoever's client gets it is the client that gets it, right? You don't need to, it doesn't need to necessarily be your client, but celebrate it, put it out there, be like, oh yeah, so-and-so's the winner, whatever, and just celebrate it. Go big with it, and it's whoever's client. But guys, that's the thing. Like if you want to go bigger dollars, you absolutely can. Outbound care call blitz, right? They can go through the pumpkin pie event, and Dale just talked about this, guys. That event's big, right? Where you go through, and this is what I would challenge you guys to do right now. Think about the 10 people in your ecosystem, just 10. 10 people know you, like you, trust you. They're your core advocates. These are the people that you know, if someone mentions real estate, they're plugging you. Like I have one of those, his name's Kenny. I know that if anyone mentions real estate, Kenny is saying you need to call Charles, to the point where I've done deals with him, his coworkers. I've done deals with his parents. I helped his mom sell her house this year. Whereas grandma said, hey, when I'm ready to sell my house, I'm going to sell my house, right? Like I know real estate. I go over to Kenny's house for parties, and people are sitting down with me talking real estate with me. Like they seek me out and they talk like I'm one of the only friends that's over there at family gatherings. And so think about who your 10 are, your 10 core advocates. Best friend from high school. This could be whomever. And what you do is you say, you know, hey, Liz, just wanted to reach out. I'm doing, a pie giveaway this year, and I super appreciate our relationship. And I just want to know apple or pumpkin. Right? And let Liz pick. Liz is like, I love apple pie. I love pumpkin pie. Awesome. Do you want me to drop that off to you, or would you like to swing by the office and come pick it up? I'm going to be here on this day. Oh, would you drop that off to me? Awesome. And this is the thing, guys, if you don't know their address, even though they're one of your core advocates, awesome, Liz, what's your address? Right? Like we're going through, guys, we all have an address deficiency. Like I don't even need to look at everyone's CRM, and I know that. So what does it look like? We're gamifying it, and we're getting more addresses, and we're adding it to our database. But pick your 10. Put it out there on social media, right? Like you can put it out there, take a shot of your pumpkin pie giveaway and let people know and create some FOMO. And people are like, God, Liz, how do I get on your pumpkin pie list next year? And you're like, awesome. I just need this information from you, right? Okay, what's your name, your phone number, your email? And as one of my real estate clients, you're going to be a part of that event. And I'm going to take care of you. And this is the thing, guys, if people are raising their hand because you created so much FOMO and they want to be a part of it next year, that's a win, right? Let's just add in, let's just run with it. You're going through, you're doing your other party. And this is the thing, guys, at the brokerage, we have two different things. We have our charity that we do where we give to Arvada K through 8. Arvada K through 8 is closing down next year, which is super unfortunate. But we will find another school to donate to. But we gave out north of 200 dinners for Thanksgiving last year for Arvada K through 8. Guys, I'm telling you, full boxes of food. We will be doing it again this year. As soon as we get past Trick or Treat Street tonight, like we're going to be in blitz mode for this thing. And we are walking these full boxes of meals up, all 200 of them. And there are literally families going inside, grabbing the boxes and walking out as we're delivering this food in this assembly line. So what does it look like for you to reach out to your database and say, hey, I know this time of year, people are looking to give back to their community and they just don't know how. And my brokerage, or guys, don't even say my broker, say my team, my real estate team this year is given to our Vada K through 8. There's a lot of underprivileged kids. And a lot of those kids go home hungry over the weekend. And, you know, we want to make sure that they have a Thanksgiving meal. And I know a lot of people are looking for a way to give back. I don't know if you'd be interested. But would it be okay if I send you that information? Awesome. What's your email address? Right, guys, gamify this thing. This is how you get people's information. Send them this stuff and they want to participate. There's the drop off. They bring it by, or you like, hey, there's two different ways to play. Either just let me know and put it on the front step and I'll come and get it, and or bring it to my brokerage. Here's the address, and let people participate. The other thing we have is breakfast with Santa. All of you guys should be thinking, this is the thing. You guys might not have a giant database right now. Some of you might be brand new to this thing. It's okay. Think about your 10 advocates. And even if they don't want, maybe you have buddies that they just want to get a photo with Santa and send it out. They might want to hang out with you. Maybe they don't have kids. Maybe they do have kids. Invite some people to this thing. Yes, you'll need to show up. You'll need to play. You'll need to be here. But it's just a way. And if all your people say no, all 10 of them are like, you know what? I'm actually busy that day, or I hate Santa, which then they're weird. I don't know people that hate Santa Claus, but I guess they're out there. I've seen the Grinch. But they're going through, what does it look like, right? All we're doing is having communication. We're getting closer in emotional proximity to them. I don't care what the outcome is. Maybe they hate pie. They're like, no, Charles, I hate apple and pumpkin pie. Okay, cool. Well, what pie do you like? Or awesome, I super appreciate that. What do you have for dessert on Thanksgiving, right? Just change the conversation. I don't care what the outcome is. I'm just looking for a reason to communicate to people. We need touches. And we're seeing from this, at least it needs to be around 60. And from 60 touches, I'll have a massive, massive business from taking so much mind share that the market share follows in 2024. And then you guys will make as much money as you deserve. And guess what? The money that you deserve is in direct correlation with the amount of effort that you're putting in. And so let's make some of that effort easy, right? Let's make some of it, let's set it and forget it. Let's let the robot, let's let Skynet over here do it for us. And let's be on the side of the robots for a little bit. So then we're going through and the quarterly call, and I opened up the call this way. 4 calls per year, and we utilize DTD2, doing the database 2. That means that 2 letters of the alphabet every week over 13 weeks, 1 quarter, we'll get through our entire database 1 time per quarter, 4 times per year. And this is a way just to set it to where I'm not having to guess, like I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, oh, I really don't want to talk to that person. No, it's that week. It's time to call. Let's just call and go through it. And guess what? We can layer stuff on. And while I'm just talking about a call, what does it look like for me to call? Hey, Liz, sorry that I missed you. Hope everything's going well in your world. No need to call me back. I'll give you a call later this week and let's see if we can catch up. Then 2 days later, because I got time, it's my week. Liz is still on my week. I give Liz a call back. She doesn't answer. I don't leave a voicemail. She already knows that I called her. And then Friday rolls around and Liz still hasn't called me back. And that's okay. Liz is busy. Maybe Liz is on vacation. I don't know what's going on with Liz, but I can't let it get in my mind that she hasn't answered to the phone on me twice now. And now I go through. Oh, you see that? I threw out a peace sign. The balloons went up. Right. You got the peace. Hold on. It's for like, there it is. It doesn't matter if Liz doesn't answer. My last message is this. I send Liz a text. I said, hey, Liz, hope everything's well in your world. I called you over the week. And if you want to catch up, let me know. Would love to go have a coffee with you. Right. And that's it. I've made 2 phone calls, 1 voicemail, 1 text message. Guys, there's 3 touches. There's 3 touches that I just tried to reach out to Liz. It's okay if she doesn't answer the phone. We cannot let it get in our mind that people don't like us because they didn't answer the phone. It's not that they don't like you, it's just not right now. There's times where someone calls me that's in my world that I love. And I'm like, now's not a good time. And I might call them in an hour from now, 2 hours from now. Maybe there's been times where I forget, like it's real. And so we can't let it get in our mind that someone doesn't want to talk to us or someone hates us because the phone rang and they didn't answer, or they just haven't had time to get back to us yet. We still need to reach out, guys. And I want you all to reach out in a systematic and strategic way until someone tells you to go away. Then I know if someone's like, go away, I might say, you want me to go away now or forever? Right. But we just need to figure out, like, what is it? Like, do they just not ever want to talk to me? Have I done something? Or let's get out of our mind. Let's just keep conversating with them. Let's keep having communication. Let's keep pushing content their way, as long as we're not stealing their time from them. And that's why I'm saying, like, let's make sure that all this stuff is valuable, right? Let's not steal someone's time. And if we're giving valuable touches out there, they're going to want to communicate with us, guys. So care calls, right? Going through urgent need, or we're going through and doing the vendor list, the client event calls, home ownership, right? It's giving you all these little different scripts, these items of value. Guys, these are just reasons to call and reach out to your database. And it makes it so much easier when it's not real estate related. Because I know a lot of you on this phone call right now are like, God, I don't want to be that salesperson. Like, I don't want to call him and be like, who do you know is going to buy, sell, or invest that I can help today? And guess what? I'm not that person either. So what can we do to where we're providing value, to where it doesn't necessarily need to be doing real estate? Because guess what? Social media is doing real estate for me back here. My emails are doing real estate for me back here. And as I'm communicating with them, then I'm able to take mind share from them. And guess what? This is how you guys all know. Every one of you will know if you're doing a good job being a real estate agent. If this, you're on the phone with someone, you're at a party, you're doing whatever, and they ask you how the market is. Guys, that's how you know if you're communicating and people are seeing your messaging. If they ask you how the market is. When you're going through and that's the conversation where someone says, hey, how's the real estate market? Is now a good time to buy? Is now a good time to sell? And they're coming to you, you know that they know you're a real estate agent and you're doing your job. If you're having to constantly bring up real estate, guess what? It's not fun, right? Like and that's what I think your fear is, right? That you're going through and I have to constantly be telling people that I'm a real estate agent. I'm a real estate agent who knows can buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And I get it. That's not fun. That's daunting. That's all that stuff. So what am I doing to take so much mind share around me to where people know I'm the real estate economist of choice? They're coming to me. They're asking questions. Like I was at a party, right? I was at Kenny's house. I told you guys I was at his house and someone comes up to me. It was one of Kenny's cousins. It was actually his wife, Lindsay's cousin. And he comes up to me and he says, hey, we're actually looking to do an addition onto our house. We live in this part of the neighborhood in Arvada, and we're thinking about digging out our basement and adding X amount of square footage. And he's telling me everything he was going to do. And there's going to be a primary bath. That's where it came from. Someone said master bedroom to me the other day, and I was weirded out by it. I was like, I didn't realize people still said master bedroom. And it was him. Now I'm recalling the conversation. Primary, right? The primary bedroom. He's like, I said, will there be a primary bathroom? He's like, yes, it'll be an ensuite bath. I was like, cool. So you're going to put bedroom down there. There's going to be there's going to be a living room down there. You're going to do a walkout basement. I do think that adds value. That was the only conversation that he wanted to have. Does this add value to my house? Absolutely. If there's bedrooms, right? We talk about heads in beds, right? Like, absolutely. I don't think you do a man cave. I don't think a man cave tracks to where you get the value back out of it. But if you're going to put bedrooms in there, they're going to have egress. I think it works. This is the things that we need to do, guys. Like, we're going through and doing this massive touch program. It's going to make your guys' life easier, and you're going to make money in 2024. And this is where it all starts, right? So this is where I said we're going to reverse engineer this thing. We just talked about the 60 touch program. This is where I want most of your heads to be. Like, as you're going through here, I want you to think, how can I implement a systematic and strategic communication plan? And if you're just starting with 10 people for Breakfast with Santa, maybe this year, start thinking about how you can turn it into 50 next year, right? Just be thinking about how you can do all these different things and put it on your calendar. Breakfast with Santa is in December, and you start getting this communication out in October, then November, then December, and then even January, right? Because then January rolls around and you're saying like, hey, I don't know if you got this stuff. Hey, I just wanted to reach out to you, all these different things. Like, you have reasons to reach out to these people. So next week is October 31st. We're already through fall cleanup. And again, this is where we're supposed to figure out what our deficiencies are. And I would say most of our deficiencies, if we have a database, most of you probably have name, phone number, email. Most of your deficiencies are probably in address. So we're going through, and the address is the deficiency. So let's gamify and let's figure out how we get some addresses, and let's provide value so we can reach out to them and they provide us. But then we're in this winter of renewal, guys. This is November 1. So I think this is Tuesday next week. Is that it? Wednesday? Wednesday next week. Wednesday next week is November 1st. So we're going through, and it says renewal of the relationships. Who in our database do we need to reach out to? The people that you went to work with, right? For my dual career people, who do you work with that you can talk to? Anyone that's in school, the people that you're in school with, friends and family. You're going through, guys, and this is the thing, like you're going through, we're adults. People that we don't know the first two questions, we say, what's your name? What do you do for a living? People that we know in our ecosystem, they're going to say, what's new in your world? And guess what, guys? You don't need to say, I'm a brand new real estate agent, right? You don't need to say, hey, whatever. You say, well, I affiliated with Keller Williams this month. I affiliated with Keller Williams 6 months ago. I joined the brokerage. And they're going to say, awesome. I didn't realize you're a real estate agent. Oh, I am. Yeah. I'm with the brokerage. You don't need to say I've only been in the brokerage for 2 days. I've only been a real estate agent for 6 months. Just say that you affiliate with the brokerage, right? Just change the wording around it. It does not say like, hey, I'm a new real estate agent, the largest financial decision of your life. If you trust me, let's do something. Right? Let's just change the context and how we're going to perform with it. And guys, that's where the magic happens. This is why we have so many reasons to reach out to people right now. And here it is. Like if we were to look at this thing, and let's see if I can, and oh, I can look at that. Now I have to be able to read it. So Halloween is next week. So we might be missing the boat unless you guys are going to make phone calls after this, but I feel like you're all going to be like, that was an awesome class, Charles. I can't wait to implement this stuff in a couple months because we're all real estate agents and that's how we roll. So, but we have Halloween coming up, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, daylight savings time. And don't be that person, guys, for the love of God. Don't be that real estate agent that warns people about this on social media. They all know. Don't be that person. If I see any of those social media posts from any of you, I'll be disappointed. Election Day, Veterans Day. We have Thanksgiving coming up. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve. Guys, these are all reasons to reach out to people. And it's not weird, right? Like it even says here, it says, this is also the time where no one thinks twice about receiving a gift or card. If you think it's weird to reach out to someone, you're the weird one. You're the only one in the room. And so it feels weird directing the weird one conversation at you. So like, don't be weird when you guys think about this thing, guys. It's not. People like to receive cards, right? Especially the younger generation. Like they don't get them. And so guys, if you guys were to talk to Ron, and for the most part, you all have, and it was probably a pretty long conversation because Ron loves talking to agents, especially newer agents. And Ron has what he calls the money box, right? I don't know if he's ever showed you guys the money box. And like he walks in and he lets me know that Linda's kicked him out of the house because that's typically how the conversation goes. He goes, the boss has kicked me out of the house. And I'm like, what's she doing? And he always tells me like maybe she's doing some prayer group or something with some people, or she has a client over and she just makes Ron leave. I don't know why. The house is big enough. It's 2 stories. Like Ron could at least go into the basement, but she doesn't let Ron even stay in the house. And she sends Ron out and Ron comes here with the money box. And he goes through and he just does cards. He does handwritten cards to people. And Ron will do north of 10 deals every year just from handwritten cards. Like he can actually pinpoint the handwritten card and the deal that came from it. And what he says is like, it's not even the people that are my age that are really, I'm doing deals with. It's always the younger people. Like it's always the younger people that don't get a lot of cards that they think it's one of the coolest things that actually someone wrote them a handwritten note. And that brings us into November, right? Like that's one of these big things to where we've seen so much magic behind this thing to where, guys, not many people are getting handwritten cards and you're going to separate yourself from everybody else like you do. Like not many people are sending this stuff out. The only mail that we get, their bills. There might be some marketing thing that we care about because we're like, cool, does this marketing thing matter? Or is it just, I'm just looking at it because I'm a real estate agent. I want to know what marketing looks like. But the handwritten cards, all of us open up. I can tell you, I get a handwritten card or even a happy birthday thing, or my grandma sends us like a happy anniversary thing. Like my grandma gives us an anniversary card every year. She's the only one that does it. I save it at least for like a couple of weeks. Like it sits there. Debbie sent Aaron, my wife, a birthday card. Aaron has the birthday card. It's up right now. It's just sitting there. But we all do it, right? So be thinking about how we can reach out to people. We have birthdays. We have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, we have New Year's, we have Hanukkah, we have insert whatever holiday here. It's not weird to send these cards out and do it, guys. Like, you can go in direct messenger, you can send out text message, you can just do a blanket wall post on Facebook. Hey, I want to get purposeful about sending out cards this year and sharing some holiday cheer. Would love to put you on that list. What's your address, right? And go through and just figure it out, and just being able to go in and have these relationships, and what power we have because we sell houses, we deal in real estate, and we're going through and we're just taking massive, massive mind share with everything else that we're doing. And then it says, guys, if we're doing, and we're very purposeful about this thing, from Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up, to February 28th, and we have a 31-day month in February, because it is leap year. March 1st is when business starts blowing up. We know, historically speaking, that people start waking up, hibernation's over, and March is selling season. So we're going through, and all the work that you guys are putting in over these next few months, they start paying dividends at a high level. So, guys, want to open it up? I know that I've been on my soapbox preaching for a little bit over an hour now. What questions? What are our thoughts? And Liz, you're the only one with camera on, so you get picked on the most, like every class. But I do know Lee's there, even though he hasn't thrown any emojis. Lee, you're next. Liz, what are your thoughts?
Well, I took down a lot of thoughts. So let me just find one of the thoughts. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. Good reminder about no one thinks it's weird to receive a gift. I mean, I didn't give a gift this week, but I reached out to like my old landlord's mother, who I had seen at like house events, and she just was thrilled that I was like reaching out to her, just, and again, it's not weird.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's absolutely not weird to reach out to people. This is the thing. I think the 2020 broke a lot of us. 2020, right? We were told by the news we weren't allowed to talk to anyone, and we had to stay in our house. And good God, like, you see people, it got weird. 2020 was weird, and it broke some people. And I don't think we've recovered from it. It's not weird to have conversations.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
I liked, although one thing that I thought was really good that you said was about, obviously I know we talk about Chat GPT a lot of the time, but taking those information that we get from, like you said, from different places, and then having Chat GPT make it like more understandable to my audience, or to make it look like a pretty newsletter. I really liked that idea, and I think it's just time blocking is something I'm still figuring out as a new agent. I feel like that's something I struggle with the most, and I like love all these ideas and I want to implement them, and it's the time blocking thing that I just need to do it,
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Like, as you were thinking about this thing, I heard two things as you were going through and giving me your notes, which I super appreciate. One, like, guys, at KW, we talk about, we have some of the smartest bookshelves in the industry, right? Because we do classes like, and I can tell you that like a Friday class at a brokerage is not normal. Like, this is not normal. My job is to look at other brokerages and to figure out how we can bring more value than they do. And I look at a lot of brokerages. I even look at other KWs. They're not offering classes. Like, they're not. I look at classes and they might have 2 classes a week, and that's about it. And there's sometimes where we do 3-4 classes a day, and it gets, well, it's too much. I mean, that's too much as well. And so let's not have the smartest bookshelves in the industry. I like what you said, and you've pinpointed that you have an opportunity. Now let's figure out when you're going to implement it. So I would actually have that in your calendar. So you said that I have an opportunity with my calendar, and there's something that I like. Well, put that something that you like in the calendar and hold yourself accountable to executing it, right? I would say that that's probably going to be the biggest thing. Let's not have the smartest bookshelves. Let's put this to work and let's make some money, because money is good for the good that money can do. And I want you guys all to make a lot of money. So I appreciate the thoughts, Liz. Thank you. Lee, I said I was you next. I know you're there.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing good. I gotta build my vendor list, get my data
Yep.
filled in more so I can just answer any question I would have that came up with any issue a client would need. Then I like
Awesome.
that the VIP pie list. I like that one too.
Yeah, guys, I don't think we've talked about the core advocates at a very high level. And I'll think about where I could have more of a conversation around that but you guys should all have a core advocate list, right? Like it's the 10 people that you love on so hard that you know that if someone mentions real estate, they're thinking about you. This is the people that the pie list, right? You're doing the pie thing for them if you're not going to go big with it. This might be you're having a potluck at your house, a VIP potluck. Everyone brings their own food, but you mastermind. Maybe you even bring in like an industry expert somewhere, like maybe a CPA, maybe a whatever. People get a level up in the room with you while eating and hanging out. But this is the people, like maybe you go top golf with them, maybe you go on extra coffee appointments with them, whatever that looks like. And like those are the people that you know that if anyone mentions real estate, they're thinking about you, and it's because of the extra work that you're putting in for them. So I like that takeaway, Lee.
Thanks. And I do I use that Chat GPT a lot ever since I've got introduced to it. It can do a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff in that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, good stuff. I love ChatGPT. I can tell you that most anything that I send to you guys, I have ChatGPT'd it. While it is my thoughts and I have it clean it up, ChatGPT just sounds, I don't know, it writes better than I do. So I do go through and clean most of that stuff up, but it does help organize your thoughts and put it more in a concise and clean and flow that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's and you edit your template to how you would say it or whatever, so it's pretty sweet.
Yep. Awesome. I'm gonna hit Casey. I'm gonna go coming to James in the room. So Casey, I haven't heard from you yet. I haven't seen any emojis pop up or any messages. What was your number one takeaway? And I'm flying without a parachute. Oh yeah, you came off mute. There it is.
No, I'm here. My one takeaway from here was really the giveaways too. I really like that. Like for me, I personally would love like if someone posted something like, "Oh, I'd want that pie," like and it's such an easy way to get like phone numbers, addresses to like drop off the pie or something. So that's like one thing I really want to do.
Absolutely. Guys, people will give you anything for something for free. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Like you guys could go find the most ridiculous, cheap thing there is and say, hey, I'm giving away these. Or you go in, I've seen people go get coupons from like different whatever. So let's say you have a buddy that has some coupons for something, and you're like, hey guys, this new restaurant just opened up, or hey, my buddy's running this deal at this brokerage or at this shop. I have 10 coupons for buy one, get one, or whatever. Let me know if you want one. I'll send it to you. Like people will, and awesome. They raise their hand. You're like, great. What's your address? And I'll send it to you. People will do anything for free stuff. So I like that takeaway, Casey. All right, James, hit us with the last takeaway.
I liked how you said bringing value.
Yeah.
Opposed to like being salesy.
Yep.
Just trying to be the
Yeah.
be somebody you can trust in.
Yep.
And I just don't want to be I don't want to sound salesy.
Right.
So I'm still working on and I'm using ChatGPT
Yeah.
as well to help me write introductions, because I don't want the introduction to be, I made some phone calls yesterday.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't like, hey,
right.
I was like, hey, how's life?
Mhm.
And like it just naturally came up.
Yeah.
And but even when it naturally came up, it's still, I was like, if
hits the wall. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And sounding too.
Mm-hmm.
But just being able to provide that service. And yesterday's meeting, there's one takeaway from yesterday. One guy, he's like the VP of Capital Manager or whatever.
Oh, Jason Abrams.
Man, he gets you real pumped up.
I like Jason. Yeah.
Super.
Jason's my spirit animal. Yeah.
He's awesome. So I mean, that was my takeaway. It's just, be a value.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's big, guys. Like as you're going through here, we have an exciting job. People love real estate. That's why you have HGTV. Better, it's home and gardens, TV. There's not a whole lot of gardens, but there's a lot of homes going on that channel, right? And they have 24/7 real estate on that channel. All we have to do is take mind share for people to know that we're real estate agents, whether you're doing whatever in the background. You got Facebook going, Instagram, you have your emails going out. And then when you're having a conversation with them, they're going to ask you about real estate. They are. How's the market? What's going on? And guys, we just reframe it, right? If someone says, hey, Liz, how's the real estate market? And I think a lot of us get like, oh my God, this is it. This is my chance. The real estate market's great. Why do you ask? Oh, no reason. Right. And then the conversation's just done. Right. And I know we've all been there. And let's reframe it. If someone says, how's the real estate market? I might say, I appreciate you asking that. Are you asking from the perspective of a buyer, seller, or investor? And then let's get some more out of them. And then they're going to say, oh, well, this is what's going on. Like, hey, you know what? It's actually time that, my mother-in-law, it's time to sell her house and it's time to downsize for her or whatever. And then we know what the conversation is. But guess what? Like, it's not fun to be a seller right now, right? The sellers' houses are sitting a little bit longer than they've been sitting. It's maybe a little bit fun to be a buyer if you have the cash to do it, but at the most part, it's not. So let's be able to go have that conversation and go through it. And I can tell you that Ron's script in his money box, at the very end of all of his letters that he writes, and he says, and I super appreciate our relationship. If there's anyone that's like you, that's looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate, I would love it if you would mention my name, or I would love it if you would think of me. So I think the same thing. I like what your script was. It wasn't like, hey, if you're looking to buy or sell, let me know. It was like, hey, if anyone in your circle mentions real estate, I would be honored if you would think of me. Yep. Be a part of the conversation, whatever it looks like. Absolutely. Perfect, guys. That was it. 8 minutes back in your lives that we're going to give you. If I can be of any help, please let me know. Next week, we're in November. November 1st is around the corner. So let's not make this an hour-and-a-half class where you guys came and you thought it was awesome and then you forgot all about it. Let's actually do something with this stuff. I want you guys to have monstrous businesses next year, and I want you guys to make as much money as possible. Have a great day, guys. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Charles.